Hello again, everyone. Welcome to a brand new edition of Big Time Sports. My name is Joe Dunn, and here's your invitation to stay with us for the next 25 minutes as we continue our preview and talk about Federal League softball this year. We've already talked to Hoover, we've talked to Perry. Today, we've got the Lake Blue Streaks here to talk about their season and their prospects for the 25 campaign. Head coach Grace Francesovic is here. And Coach, welcome to the program. It's glad that you're on. I think it's the first time we've had Lake softball on in quite a few years. I know this is what, your third year as the head coach over at Lake. So we're about a week or two into the season. Why don't you give the fans an update on how things are going right now?
Yeah, so far we're off to a pretty strong start. We are 5-1. Our loss coming to defending state champions Fitch. We definitely have some work to do still beginning in the season, you know, and we're feeling good about where we're at and feeling like we're off to a strong start in our league too. So.
You got 6 games in, Coach. You take a look at these 6 games. Again, you got a long way to go. The tournament, all that has yet to come. What are you doing well right now? What does your team have to do better to make a run?
Yeah, so we started off a little slow, I think, hitting, which is one of our strengths. However, I think in the last couple games we've really turned it on. They're starting to look like themselves, and I think that's going to really carry us forward. We're really lucky to have a strong pitching staff and 2 returning varsity pitchers that have just grown in the last couple years. One's a junior and one's a senior, and just a really strong core of girls and group of girls that really get along and work well together.
Coming into this season, did you anticipate a pretty good group, a veteran group, some young ladies to move in and get into the lineup? Did you kind of fashion your out-of-conference schedule to challenge this group a little bit?
Definitely, yeah. Definitely expected coming into this that we were going to be competitive this year. We were competitive last year and returning most of that team this year, so we're really lucky on that. And then just knowing how well they work together, what high-level travel ball they're playing in the off-season, I definitely planned for us to play some tougher non-league games this year so that we're prepared come tournament time and so we're prepared for our league. Yeah,
of course, anybody who watches baseball or softball knows pitching is the name of the game. And we talked to a lot of the coaches who come in for the program about the young ladies that come into the program have already been tutored in softball maybe since they've been in the 3rd grade. Is that the way you find it at Lake? Are they pretty well ready to go when you get them?
They are, yeah. We're really lucky on that. They're all doing hard work in the off season. They're working with great private lessons coaches, and that goes pitching, hitting, defensively as well. I think we're lucky to be able to all work together on that private lesson instructors, parents, travel teams, high school teams can all work together and really build a solid group of girls like this. So.
Yeah, what's the makeup of the team, Coach? You have a lot of veterans, and tell us about your starters and maybe a youth group in there and some of the guys or the veterans that are helping you win.
Yeah, we have a lot of returners, so we're really returning pretty much 8 starters this year, with our seniors being a really strong component of that. So my 2 pitchers, my junior and senior, have both been part of our varsity team since they were freshman and sophomore respectively, and so 3 in their 3rd season of being starting pitchers, they share that role together really well. Returning some strong players in my shortstop and my center fielder, young catcher, but she's ready to take on that role, I think, for sure.
How do you like to play the game, Coach? You like to play the small ball and take an early lead and hope your defense can carry you, or what's kind of your philosophy once you get into a game?
Yeah, so definitely playing some small ball. We've got a lot of speed on our team, so a lot of quick girls, some really great slapping athletes, and doing a good job there for sure. So definitely taking advantage of our speed, taking those extra bases.
What's the Federal League look like this year? Always a strong league. They've had a lot of state champions come out of the Federal League, as you well know. What's it look like? Who are the teams you feel you got to beat to win the championship?
Yeah, I think you can't take anyone lightly in the Federal League. Everybody is tough and has their strengths. I think Hoover's going to be our biggest challenge this year, but we've got some challenges in who we're already seeing come out and play hard. Green, I expect to be talented. Jackson had a big win last night against Hoover, and so definitely not going to take anybody lightly, going to take it all seriously. So.
You know, Big Time Sports has been down at Lake to do a lot of football games, basketball games. Great community support for the school. You played there. What about the support for the softball team? You got a lot of community support. Fans come out and support your team?
We do, yeah. With being an outdoor sport, you know, you always get a little more when the weather's nice. So I think that comes throughout the season. But our community definitely supports us, and we're really, really grateful for this year. I feel like my girls not only get along so well, but we have tons of parent support, teacher volunteer support and community support for our team. So that's really exciting to see.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of the young ladies, regardless if they play at Lake or not, getting that early coaching to make sure they're ready. What about the youth program at Lake? Is that something you kind of monitor a lot, and what's it feel like with those young ladies coming up and wanting to be part of your program?
Yeah, we try our best. It's hard sometimes when they're playing at the same time as us or when my athletes are off at travel ball, but we definitely do work to build that relationship. So we do youth camps, we stay in contact with that youth program, and then hope and have our youth day tomorrow if weather allows. So
Gotcha.
It's good to have them out at our games too.
Of course, this is your third year as head coach. What about your assistant coaches? Do you have a lot of assistants help you with the program?
I do, yeah, really lucky on that front. I've got 2 really strong assistants at the varsity level, 2 really solid coaches at the JV level that are building those athletes to be ready to go for us in future years, and grateful for that dedication from them too. That just makes our athletes better. You know,
I've been around a lot of coaches at the high school and the college level. It always seems that the coaches that are coaching at their alma mater go a little bit farther because you've got the pride in the program. Is that pretty much the way you feel coaching at Lake where you played?
I feel that way. I hope others do too. Yeah, I'm lucky to be teaching in the district and living in the district, so I do feel a lot of connection to Lake and really feel dedicated to what we have here and my athletes as people and just building this program to represent our community for sure.
A lot of fans that are watching right now maybe haven't been down to Lake to watch a softball game. What about the facilities down there, and how pleasant is it to sit there and watch a softball game on a nice Tuesday or Friday night?
We play in our community park, so every year we try to make a few improvements. So maybe not the nicest field in the Federal League, but it's good to have that place in our community right by our stadium, right by where a lot of our other sports play. So I feel like there's a lot happening athletic-wise right in that area, and that's nice too, because then we got a lot of athletes and other coaches stopping by. So.
Of course, the Ohio High School Athletic Association now has 7 divisions for sports. Does that affect you at all? Are you still, what, Division 1 or 2? Doesn't make any difference?
We're Division 3 now, so I do think that's going to make a difference.
Okay.
Yeah, it dropped between last year and this year.
Does that make you happy, or is that pretty competitive in that division? Or?
I think we're going to have some competitive teams for sure. I think it's different. You know, it's the first year trying that out, so I can't really say one way or another whether it's going to benefit us yet. But I think we should definitely be competitive in our tournament this year. So.
What about some of your former players that are playing in college? I think a young lady we're going to meet in a minute has already decided where she's going to play. What about some of the former Blue Streaks that are playing at the next level?
Yeah, so a few that I've gotten to coach. I've got there's one of my former athletes out in California playing, a few that have stayed at more local schools, and then a few from previous years even that have gone on to pretty big Division I schools.
Yeah. How do you handle the recruiting? Is there a lot of coaches that come around, or they pretty much do their scouting during the summer with the travel ball teams?
Most of them go the travel ball route, and they make those decisions headed into senior year. Occasionally I'll have a coach that reaches out and wants to hear about an athlete, and so I always, of course, am singing the praises of my athletes.
Gotcha.
But most of them do a lot of that in travel because they get to see them play so much in a weekend, and yeah.
Coach, stay put, because we've got 3 young ladies here that can't wait to get up here and talk about Lake softball and their expectations for this season. So we're going to be right back talking Lake Blue Streak softball right here on Big Time Sports.
Ready for adventure? The 2025 Chevrolet Equinox is here. With its sleek design, advanced safety features, and spacious interior, the Equinox is built for your next journey. It combines performance with efficiency. Find yours at Ferris Chevrolet Toyota. Locally trusted, family-owned, and dedicated to your driving needs, Ferris Chevrolet Toyota makes finding your dream car easy.
You're only as good as your people. And what we've done here is we've created a culture where people flourish.
We don't want it to be a transaction. We want it to be something where there's a consultative approach, a relationship that allows us to really, one, ensure our customer the right way, but then two, to let them understand the value of getting to work with us.
It's an extreme amount of satisfaction for this team that we have right now. We've developed a team that is solely based on relationships.
Sometimes life is just not okay. But guess what? That's okay.
And the pain you feel today won't always be the pain you feel tomorrow.
And no temporary situation is worthy of a permanent decision.
And if we give life a chance, we can change. We can grow.
Because it's not the absences of hard times that makes life worth living.
It's the presence of hope.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports. If you just joined us, we are talking Lake Blue Streak softball. Head coach Grace Francesovic is here, brought 3 of her players. And Coach, before we talk to a young lady to your left, you played at Lake, you're now coaching at Lake. Is it the same feeling for you on game day as it was as a player? Do you still get the excitement of going out and coaching and playing as it was when you actually played the game?
I still get the excitement, that's for sure. Still a little nerves sometimes, but I think it's a lot different as a coach. I feel like I am concerned about where my athletes are going to be at that night. I'm looking out for their experiences, so I think that part's a lot different, but some of those same emotions for sure.
Gotcha. You've got a young lady to your left that I'm sure is key to your success this year. Why don't you introduce her and what she means to the team this year?
Yeah, so this is Bella Barr. She is one of our seniors and our senior captain. She is our starting third baseman and definitely a foundational component of our team, both softball-wise and in her leadership abilities.
Well, welcome to the program. Third base, which means you are in on top of those hitters a lot. And a lot of times they'll pretend they're going to bunt and all of a sudden they'll swing away. What's going through your mind at that time? Because you're coming in expecting a bunt. They're swinging hard, maybe a line drive right past your ear. So you got to be awful quick. But what's it like playing that hot spot?
So I feel like good reaction time is like a big key. And just like learning the players, studying them, seeing like how they're looking at me, seeing how the coach is reacting behind me, and then I can figure that out.
Are you the type of third baseman that can pick up signs? You try and do that? Do you anticipate the bunt a lot, or you just kind of wait for that reaction from the hitter before you make your move?
I definitely anticipate it. I look at the situations. I look at the runners around. I'm looking to see if they're looking at me. A lot of times people look at third base.
Kind of they give it away a little bit.
They do give it away. So I learn the players and I scoot up based on the athlete.
Sure. Have you always been a third baseman coming up through a travel ball, or is this something new for you this last couple of years?
So my freshman year I started in the outfield, and then I can usually play everywhere except pitcher and catcher. But shortstop I can go there, but third's definitely my prime spot where I'm most comfortable with and play.
Yeah, we talked to the coach about her preparation. Of course, she played at Lake, now she's coaching at Lake. How do you get ready mentally for a game? Do you start preparing the moment you get to school in the morning? Does it maybe happen after school? You got an hour or two before the game. Tell us how that plays out for you.
Yeah, I feel like getting a good night's sleep even affects me. So waking up on time to my alarm, getting ready throughout the day, lunch, have a good lunch in me, have a good snack after school, listen to a good song in the car. So everything leads up to game day. That's the one thing I have found different from watching the boys play high school baseball as opposed to the girls in softball. There's a lot of things happening in the dugout for girls softball. The chants and the songs. Seems like you're having a lot of fun, maybe more fun than the boys. Where did that come? That's always been a part of the game since you were playing travel ball? Yeah. So our team, we just have like a lot of fun. We make a lot of inside jokes. We especially with friends sometimes, wherever the ball is. We have little chants, we have little sayings that we always say, and it just like helps us relax, helps us have fun. It's a fun part of the game. How hard do you take those losses? You got that 24-hour rule maybe. You take it home with you a little bit, then you get up the next day, you got practice for a game. How long does that bad feeling of a loss stay with you? It's upsetting, but as an athlete, you just have to move on. You have to realize how to how to change what has happened. You have to have a better outcome the next day. So how you prepare yourself for the next day. I feel like at the night time is whenever you just you stop and think about what happened a couple hours before that. Sure. Yeah. Exactly. How would you grade yourself as a player right now? Your strengths and some of the things you got to get better at in the course of the season. Yeah, I'd give myself a B right now. There's definitely improvement, but we have all season to work on that, and I'm excited. Yeah. Any superstitions or anything that you have before you take the field? Special music you listen to, or maybe something you eat before the game, or a snack you can't start that game until you have that particular snack, or what? I like listening to Take Care by Drake, so I make all my teammates listen to it on the bus. There you go. And in the dugout, we just have a fun time, party up before the game. Sure, sure. Can you remember when you were coming up, dreaming about being a Lake softball player? Who were some of the players you looked up to that were already playing, and did you kind of pattern your game after some
those young ladies that played before you?
So there was this girl, Jess LeBeau. She graduated from Lake and ended up going to Michigan. I always looked up to her. She was like one of our coaches. Like, she helped coach our team, so she was always like an inspiration to look up to. And even just people like my dad, he was a good athlete, so he always taught me a lot of stuff and helped me. Yeah.
Now, did your dad play at Lake, or?
No, he did not play at Lake.
Okay, so he had to learn the Lake traditions and everything, but kind of pass them on to you. But
yeah.
That's great. What about your future plans after you leave Lake High School? Any thoughts of playing at the next level?
So no, I'm not playing at the next level. I'm going to OU and going to be majoring in nursing.
You're going to be a Bobcat down in Athens.
Yes, I will.
Well, congratulations on that decision. Best of luck now. You're a senior at Lake, and thanks for coming over today.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, stay put, everybody. We've got another young lady coming up to talk about Lake softball right after this.
Ready for adventure? The 2025 Chevrolet Equinox is here. With its sleek design, advanced safety features, and spacious interior, the Equinox is built for your next journey. It combines performance with efficiency. Find yours at Ferris Chevrolet Toyota. Locally trusted, family-owned, and dedicated to your driving needs, Ferris Chevrolet Toyota makes finding your dream car easy.
Altman is here for you, in your community, because you matter. We're proud to be the area's first and only independent health system. We are one team, joined together and committed to one mission, to lead our community to improved health. And we've always been here, dedicated to providing you with the very best in care, wellness, education, insurance, and more. For your community and for your family, Altman is always here for you.
Certified by the American Lighting Association, Furbay's Light Shop is your go-to for all lighting needs, residential, commercial, or industrial. Our experts assist with every detail, from bulb size and fixture type to designing layouts. Visit us for hands-on displays showcasing various fixtures, or log in to furbay.com/lightshop. Let us help you visualize the perfect light for your space. Whether you need advice or want to explore lighting options, stop by or log in to Furbay's Light Shop today and see how we can brighten your project.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports as we continue our preview of the 2025 Federal League softball season. The Lake Blue Streaks are here. Head coach Grace Francescovic has brought three of her outstanding players. And Coach, one question before we introduce the next player. With weather conditions in the spring the way they are, you're trying to get as many games in as you can. What is the Federal League rule as far as calling games? Is that the home team that calls it, the umpires that call it? How does that work in the Federal League?
So the home team calls it, but the Federal League coaches are all really good at communicating with each other, so we really do make that decision as a team most of the time when it's a Federal League game. Same thing, even my experience with opponents outside of our league is that we, as coaches, make that decision together. And of course, the home coach knows better their field and whether or not it's going to be able to hold that water. So you
got to be a softball coach and meteorologist at the same time to look at that weather map and determine whether you should call it or not. And that's kind of a tough choice sometimes because that weather can change every hour.
Absolutely, yeah.
Who's the young lady sitting next to your left? I know you're proud of her. What does she mean to the team this year?
Yeah, so this is our senior shortstop and leadoff batter, Olivia Brown. She's one of our senior captains this year as well. She's been a foundation of our team since she was a freshman. She is a phenomenal player, committed already to the University of Akron back in her junior year. And she has really led our team over the last several years in her softball ability, taking some of our younger slappers under her wing too as a really phenomenal slapper, which has been big for those girls developing as well.
Sure.
And just leading our team in her work ethic and attitude all the time. So.
Well, welcome to the program. Shortstop, which means you are on the move just about every pitch. You've got to make the cutoff moves when the outfield. You've got to cover second base. A lot of movement in the infield. Have you always been a shortstop, and how tough was it to learn that position, everything you got to cover from pitch to pitch?
Well, I've always been like a middle infielder, and when I was younger I had a really weak arm, so I started at second, and I've played second a lot. And mostly high school I played shortstop, and then travel as I got older I got a stronger arm and I started playing short. Yeah, we have a lot of cut plays, a lot of like first and third plays where I have to cut across the field, see the runner, things like that. But I think that's just part of the shortstop like role is being able to see the field. You have the best view, so making decisions based on that.
Yeah. What's the toughest thing about playing shortstop? Is that tweener, that little pop-up between the left fielder and the shortstop? She's coming in, you're going out, somebody's got to make the call. That's a tough play.
It definitely is. We work a lot of it at practice, and our outfielders are super vocal, so it's really just trusting your teammates and being able to like go until you can't anymore. So until they call you off, going and being able to trust that they're going to get out of your way or you're going to have to get out of theirs. So.
Yeah, Coach said you're the leadoff hitter for the Blue Streaks. Have you always been a leadoff hitter? What's your philosophy on leadoff? Do you like to take a lot of pitches? Are you going to hit that first good pitch you see, or does it really determine who you're facing that day?
I've always been leadoff for travel, I think since 10U. My freshman and sophomore year, I've had upperclassmen who were also like slappers fast. So I batted in the 5-hole my sophomore and I think most of my freshman year as well. It's really, I mean, my philosophy going up is just like see ball, hit ball, really, because I don't like to hear a lot before I go up. I like to make my own like assumptions or like make my own decisions. And so like sometimes when I hear like, oh, she has a really good rise ball, it can sometimes psych me out a little bit. So I really like the leadoff position, that I don't have to hear what other people think, because I feel like it's so just how you, like just it depends on each athlete.
Sure. You've been playing at Lake, since you were a freshman, so you've seen a lot of these pitchers through the years. Got a pretty good book on them. How much does that help now that you're a senior, able to read that pitcher, anticipate how she's going to try and strike you out or get you to hit some weak ground balls?
A lot of the pitchers that I faced when I was a freshman have graduated already, so I know we had like Julia Gossett and other people. They're actually really good. Yeah. She went to Purdue. I know like Sydney Cush went to UConn. So it was definitely a challenging freshman year, like coming into that, having senior pitchers against you when you're 14. So it kind of differs now that we have underclassmen coming up and pitching, but some of the pitchers I know still. So like the Jackson pitcher was last year and things like that. So it's good to remember how I played the last time or what they threw me. And it's good when I come up with like an at-bat plan, is like I know they're going to pitch me inside, or I know this is what they're going to throw me to try to strike me out. So it's nice to have a plan beforehand.
How would you describe yourself as a hitter? Are you a slapper? Are you a gap hitter? Or how would you describe yourself maybe as a hitter, having seen you play?
So I'm a slapper. So I do a lot of small ball work. I have to hard slap sometimes if I'm in that situation. I would say I'm pretty versatile. I like to do each just depending on what I read in the defense, so laying down a bunt or hitting a gap shot if needed.
Gotcha. I think you made a great decision going to the University of Akron, since I do their games on football and basketball. I look forward to seeing you play up there. Why Akron, and hope you play early up there. What's the coach told you?
So I started getting recruited the summer of my junior year, mostly is when we started coming to a lot of our games. Coach Nicholson is great. I love their coaching staff. I knew almost like immediately when I went on campus that I definitely wanted to stay close to home.
Sure.
And I know a couple girls that went there and just have a great experience. So I definitely knew I wanted to go to Akron, and it's just such a great school, and I'm excited. Great decision. Look forward to watching you play up there. And thanks for coming over today. Thank you. We're going to take a break. One more Lake Blue Streak that can't wait to get up here and talk some softball. We're right back after this timeout.
Ready for adventure? The 2025 Chevrolet Equinox is here. With its sleek design, advanced safety features, and spacious interior, the Equinox is built for your next journey. It combines performance with efficiency. Find yours at Ferris Chevrolet Toyota. Locally trusted, family-owned, and dedicated to your driving needs, Ferris Chevrolet Toyota makes finding your dream car easy.
This moment, it's a choice. To find out what you're made of. To own what's in front of you, no matter what that might be. We showed up, we're here. This moment belongs to us right now.
It's always that personal touch that they know you Primetime has people that can help you through every step of the way. And when you're my age, you need that extra help.
You don't want a lot of questioning when you're already dealing with a medical issue. Primetime is trying to help us get down the road as long as we can.
And if you're not in the right situation, a senior can lose everything. I feel with Primetime, we picked the best program.
We are talking Lake softball today as they get ready to have what they feel is going to be a great 2025 season. Head coach Grace Francesovic is here. Introduce the young lady to your left. That's the last one. I guess you saved the best for last, right?
Yeah, or that she got voted in. You know? So, this is Peyton Urie. She's our senior pitcher. She has been a varsity pitcher since she was a sophomore, and really bounces out our pitching staff. We've got two really, really solid pitchers, and so her positive attitude and sometimes her goofy personality, I think, really bring a lot of lightheartedness to our team and really make her a good leader on the mound.
That personality she talked about, is that something you take to the circle and pitch, or is that something you kind of turn off a little bit and get your game face on? How's that work?
I've been told my game face needs some controlling sometimes. It definitely does transfer out to the field. I feel like sometimes I have to tone it down just a little bit and focus in.
Now, does that carry over to the team in the dugout when you're not pitching? You're kind of the #1 cheerleader in there in the dugout to get everybody into the game a little bit?
Honestly, I feel like we're all pretty big cheerleaders of each other. We all kind of have goofy personalities that definitely come out more in the dugout.
Sure. Have you always been a pitcher, even when you were maybe a little girl down in grade school? Is that what got you maybe interested in the game, saw somebody pitch, and you said, I want to do that?
For as long as I can remember. I've kind of always been a little bit of a control freak, so I feel like being in the center in the circle gives me a lot of that control.
When did you get your first pitching lesson?
Probably when I was like 10 or 11.
10 or 11?
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of fell in love with that and have tried to get a little bit better each year?
Yep.
What about your repertoire of pitches? What is your best pitch? I don't know if anybody's watching out there from some rival teams, but if you have one of your out pitch, what would it be?
I don't think it's much of a secret that I throw my rise ball quite a lot.
That's the rise ball.
Mm-hmm.
How hard was that to learn, the rise ball?
Probably took a good year and a half. I feel like I'm pretty good at it now, though.
Okay. Does a rise ball induce the hitters to hit the ground, to pop it up, or how does that work?
Yeah, usually it gets popped pretty straight up, so sometimes it's a little scary because they go really high, but our fielders do really good at getting those balls.
How about those pops up right in the middle of the infield? Do you make the call? Does the shortstop make the call, or how does that work, the popped up high right in the middle of the infield? Because everybody's converging on that circle.
Yeah, definitely I would say our shortstop. We always talk about who has priority for balls. So I do call it a lot, but a lot of times I get called off. So.
Sure. What about your goals for the season individually and maybe as a team? What do you want to see happen this year?
I would like to see us win the Federal League. I think that's definitely within our grasp. I think we've grown a lot even from last season. So I think we would go pretty deep into tournaments, and I would like to see us maybe make it all the way to states.
I'm assuming, just talking to you for the last minute, you really love playing softball. And I guess the obvious question is, how much are you going to miss it when you're not playing the game anymore?
A lot. I think it's going to be very hard for me to move on, but...
You've been playing now probably since grade school in travel ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a big part of your life. Can you look back at maybe some of the young ladies you started playing with, you're still playing with now? How much fun has that been coming up through the ranks with those young ladies?
So much fun. I remember me and Liv Brown, we were on the same 8U team. So our first year of softball, we're playing together, and she's going to be with me for my last year of softball, too.
There you go. Coach, great having you on the program. Look forward to having you on every year. Best of luck the rest of the season, and look forward to getting down there and watching the game with Big Time Sports. Thanks for coming over.
Thank you.
Lake Blue Streaks have been our subject today. We're going to be back next week to talk more softball and baseball. Always remember, have a great week.
Thank you.